things that we thought was a necessity was to meet with the local business owners of the downtown area and kind of get some feedback as to how things are going, how we're doing in downtown, and further the conversation as to what improvements we can continue to make together. Because it's not just about what we're doing, but it's about what you all are doing also. It has to be a collaborative effort to make downtown a better, safer, more enjoyable place to come and spend money. So this is one of the initiatives that we say we're going to do at least quarterly. I know most of you are business owners, so I know y'all are good with numbers, so this is not the quarter part, but we're gonna get there. It took us a little bit of time to kind of get things organized on our end. We have a lot of things to kind of work through. And as you can see, if you're downtown on Friday or Saturday night, I'm sure you can see that there's more visibility, presence of officers downtown. We feel as though we're actually starting to get a grasp of what's going on downtown. And we think, for the most part, the people who frequent downtown are starting to see that we're very serious about what we have going on downtown and how we intend to keep the tranquility that we have in place downtown. One of the things was increased police visibility. Now we have deputies that are present downtown every weekend, especially after about 11 o'clock, when most of the criminal activity tends to occur. So you'll find that we also have uniformed as well as ununiformed deputies that typically walk up and down both sides of the street, providing both a deterrence and peace of mind. Major downtown events now operate under a full incident command framework, which is coordinated staffing, intelligence, and a collaboration between the fire department and EMS. We are holding our first downtown meeting on today, and this is the beginning of something that we plan to do periodically to kind of gauge where we are and what we can improve on. Because we know sometimes we may start out with a plan and things may not go according to plan. So at some point we have to revisit the plan that we initially started off with. Chief Blanchard should just let you know basically where we are as far as some of our crime stats thus far in this year of 2025.
Thanks, Sheriff. Appreciate y'all being here. The Sheriff has done amazing initiatives, and we unfortunately still continue to have crime. That's probably something that's never going to change. However, we do want to point out the good things. Our murders, unfortunately, they're flat. We have the same number of murders last year as we have this year, year to date. Murder, really, the difference is between whether we get them to MCG quick enough or we don't. But on the positive note, our aggravated assaults with firearms is down 39%. That's a lot. All of our Part 1 crimes are down 25%. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but that's approximately 400 and something less Part 1 crimes, and those are violent crimes. So those are things that we're very proud of and that we're working hard for y'all. Specifically with downtown, we started off with 2 per in the evening hours, especially on Fridays and Saturdays and on some other additional nights. We started off with 2 per block. We've been able to lower that slightly because the crime has continued to drop. Vehicles being broken into has dropped dramatically because we've been able to apprehend many of the juveniles with backpacks that were going around breaking into cars and things of that nature. But what we're specifically proud of is the fact that the majority of crime that continues to occur downtown is after the 1:30 a.m. mark. And most of those crimes are crime against person on person, and they're known to each other. Fights, or it's over a girl, or it's over disrespect, or something like that. But as far as the other stuff, it's still going on, but not near as much as it was. The numbers have dipped dramatically. Us partnering through the sheriff with DJJ, and us being able to take care of the youth that are going to be downtown, along with the Target Shopping Center, which is another problem area for us because people drop them off at the movie theater and they go everywhere, and you see large groups of 100 teenagers walking around. Those are things that we're dealing with. Our aggravated assaults this year, we're down 22%. Aggravated assaults with guns, 38%. Auto thefts are down 41%. Burglaries are down 20%. Homicides are flat. Larcenies from autos, thefts from autos are down 23%. Robberies of businesses are down 56%. Robberies of other are flat. Robberies of residences are down 47%. Street robberies are down 24% for a 25% reduction in crime. The business robberies, I think one of the best things the sheriff did when he came in office, we'll be honest, we wanted to do more. We couldn't immediately respond back to burglar alarms at homes because there are just so many, and we just don't quite have the manpower. I mean, the number of alarms, and 98% of them are false. But responding to business alarms has led us many arrests, and often when we catch a burglar in a business, that's not the only business that they burglarized. The one we caught the other day, I think we had him, CID did a great job, and they got him from 7 burglaries.
An ongoing problem as with mental health. We just, had a meeting with someone who gave us just the alarming numbers when it comes to mental health and how that impacts our jail. Well, I can tell you that when I took over as sheriff, we had approximately 1,160 inmates in the Charles B. Webster Detention Center. To date, we have about 1,348 inmates in the Charles B. Webster Detention Center, which is about 200 more inmates than we had before, which is almost a 20% increase. But I can tell you that some of the ones who were out, we picked up at least 6 or maybe 7 now. I think we apprehended one yesterday that was wanted for murder charges, homicide charges that stemmed back before the previous administration. Some as far back as 2.5 years ago, still running around, terrorizing our neighborhood. So the fact that we've started to take these people into custody, and one of the things that I didn't foresee was once we put 200 more people in our jails, it takes more people to watch the other 200 inmates that we have to make sure that we're keeping them safe. We're able to make sure that their attorneys can visit and see them and get them to medical and things of that nature. So a lot of things, we kind of forecasted and we were able to see, but sometimes those storms come that you don't see coming. It's almost like when the weatherman says there's no rain in the forecast, and you look up and it's raining. Like, wow, where'd that come from? But sometimes part of the work that we do creates other storms that we have to kind of deal with. More people in our jail, and we have 1,344 in a 1,050-bed facility. It takes people to watch them. It takes people to check on them periodically. It takes deputies to move the medical staff back and forth to make sure they're getting a pill call. And about 50% of them in there require some kind of medication. And I know you're sitting there and say, well, how does that affect us as business owners? Well, one of the main duties of the sheriff is to take care of the jail. And so oftentimes we used to have to pull people from road patrol and send them to the jail to work. We don't have to do that now, but it has kept us from fully filling the positions that we have available on road patrol.
Thank you, Chair. Hey, everybody, I think I've met most of you and recognize a lot of you in this room and know that our team is very passionate about dealing with the homeless population, keeping our community safe, but that is also part of the community that we have to serve as well, right? Being homeless is not illegal. Their actions and the way they respond to us can sometimes land them in trouble. But what we do is we engage with that individual and find out, number one, are you from here? How did you end up here? 'Cause, there have been rumors of people transporting our homeless population to other, places in Georgia. So we determine that. We find out why they're homeless. Are there any barriers that we can help you get through? It's kind of hard for somebody that has a mental health concern to apply for Social Security or disability or whatever the case may be. Housing. I mean, sometimes you'll sit here for an hour trying to, meander through all that stuff, and then you don't have an ID and all these other barriers. So we attempt to assist them. We connect them with resources. We document that engagement. If they do not take advantage of the resources that we offer to them, then we get with them again. They just don't get to be mentally ill and not be able to take care of themselves living on our streets. We don't want anybody living that way, right? So we attempt to help them again and get them where they need to be. We document every engagement and encounter. And when it becomes an issue or they're doing things to negatively impact our public, then we take action. And we have, started keeping all of our stats, assistance. We get in touch with family members across the state, or we sent people to Colorado to reunite with family, to have that support. And we have nonprofits that help us with that. It is very important that you all will support the activity. So if we know that there are problems in the morning at 7:30, we have a great sergeant up there that keeps us squared away, we'll have somebody there on Broad Street.